What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more acid-techno. We're going to the Corrosive label again. I mentioned it before. It's an excellent acid-techno label. I think it's been around for at least a decade, or just about anyway. It's run by Austin Corrosive, one of the System Rejects, incidentally. And I like this record so much, I actually have 2 copies of it, so it's another one where I wanted the ability to mix from one track on the record into another track on the record. If you have 2 copies, you can do that. This is a tune that I think was sort of it's like an anti-anthem. I wrote about it on Discogs under my Mr. Tom Servo name. I'm trying to remember exactly what I wrote because it was a few years ago now. I won't even say like maybe 5-6 years ago. But I was basically saying it's like an anti-anthem. It's like very dark and muckraking. It has this repetitive vocal, not repetitive in a bad way, but it's recurrent, a recurrent vocal, and it's basically, you know, designating the type of people who listen to acid techno, which is scum like us. You know, it's like people who are all about those sort of dark subterranean places where, you know, techno squat parties might spring up. And where people are less concerned about ego and image and far more concerned about, you know, just having it to the hard music, you know, closing your eyes in front of the speaker wall and just rocking the hell out. So, yeah, that's what this tune is sort of about. I've always enjoyed the intensity of it. I like the alternation or progression of the sections. And yeah, it's just, as I said, it's like, it's sort of an anthem, but by its very nature, it's an anti-anthem. And it's funny because I think on Discogs I compared it to a tune that sonically is sort of very different, but in another way I feel like it's in the same sort of vein, which is to say Carbine's tune We Are Ravers, particularly for me, the Sleep All Day mix, because that track is talking about, you know, people who go to these parties and they, you know, stay up all night at these, you know, underground, subterranean, like squat acid techno parties, and they, you know, sleep till the afternoon, and, you know, they do jobs, not that they don't work, but it's ultimately they live a lifestyle that's so divorced from what the, you know, normal, like 9-to-5 cookie cutter sort of like modern human image. So yeah, that song is a brighter tune. It has like a more kind of like smile on your face sort of acid techno vibe, whereas this is again a very gritty face, you know, stomp the floor sort of tune. But they're both getting at the idea of like, we are the people who listen to this, the crazy people, the scum, you know, the people that modern society like considers weird and decadent and whatever, but, you know, we're up at 4 in the morning partying to great music, and, you know, we're gonna sleep in, and, you know, we don't care if you're judging us for that. So that's what the tune's about. Let's get to it. This is Chris Liberator and Sterling Moss. I mentioned it before. It's one of the most insane dynamic duos in the acid techno world, and this is Scum Like Us, Like Acid on Corrosive number, what number is this? I'm gonna say like 3. It is 3. Corrosive 3. Do we have a year? I don't see it clearly printed. Oh, 2011. Yeah, so they've been around at least like a dozen years, because this is 11 years ago and it wasn't even the first release. So yeah, this is Chris Liberator and Sterling Moss, Scum Like Us, Like Acid. I'm going to say 45. If it comes in fast, I'll restart. Listen to the tone right out of the gate, right? It doesn't start with just a simple kick and, you know, like a hat. It's like, it comes in with a dirty, rough riff right out of the gate. Acid gurgling from bar 1. Maybe not even gurgling, like burning from bar 1. Bubble, it's like the acid cauldron right before the measure change, right before that like re-instigation of the percussion scheme. It was like bada 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 bada, little gurgle over. But again, like, this is acid techno for people who have friends in low places. It's acid techno for dark underground spaces. wicked turned up faces. It just makes you want to like not only rock out on the dance floor, but like embrace that label. Like, yeah, that's who we are. I'm fine with that. You heard the bubbling cauldron. Ooh, music up. Oh, I have to hear that break again. Yes, there it is. It's like this, like, you know, like malfunctioning computer bleep sequence. But it's only at the beginning of each bar, right? So I had to wait for that second occurrence. Oh, that little cauldron acid bubbling signature right before the measure comes in each time. Brilliant. Also, listen to the cymbals smashing away now. All the while, the acid, like a predatory reptile, like snarling and gurgling at the bottom of the track. Strip it down and we're not into a breakdown mind you. Strip down the interlude where it becomes like this hushed. It's like menacing with malice aforethought. It's gonna get up to some ruckus in a minute, but this is the like planning stage. I love the computer malfunction bleep. I love the hat coming back in there nice and clean. The kick has to be said. I mean, there's never a tune by Chris and Sterling where the kick isn't phenomenal or thunderous, but that shift, the cymbal coming in upon the like, it's not a breakdown, it's just like, pull out the kick, reconfigure, drop it again. Oh, that was the most wicked cauldron bubble yet. Oh, and there's like a slide to it up front now, like. Listen to the acid now. Slowly working its way up the ladder. Burning its way up the ladder. You listen to this coming in. I mean, get out of here. Listen to the acid. Again, it's like reptilian and angry. Monstrous, phenomenal. You thought we were on our way to the outro? No, not yet. there's more mauling and shredding of brain cells to be done. Listen to it flaring about. Oh my god. Forgot about that moment until it was right there. And now we like begin the cool down. And then having wrought havoc across the entire land. The acid-techno scum, deviants and vagabonds slink away into the shadows of the night to go sleep all day. That's my story and I'm sticking with it. The computer bleep language. But again, like malfunction bleep language. A fatal acid-techno error has occurred in brain.exe. Oh my god, those little quivers, the bubbling cauldrons right before the end of every measure. I love it. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I think it's even better than I remembered. You know, I bought 2 copies of the record, and I think that was the track that I was most keen for, though. Again, it's a record full of great tracks. I'm thinking of a tune called The Acid Corporation that's on here. Fantastic. And then what's the other one? I can't. No, Nightmare. Yeah, that's a great tune too. So yeah, I mean, this is just a top record, top to bottom. But I do think that's my favorite. And again, it's like, I call it an anthem because it's a tune that like it's about sort of identifying what you're about and who you are. But the very nature of it is so like, you know, anti-establishment and anti like mainstream music industry that it's like, you know, it basically serves as the opposite of the thing that it is, if that makes any sense. So once again, shout out to this track. Big ups to Chris and Sterling. Big ups to Austin Corrosive. I mentioned just a huge fan of the label. I've done a few tunes from it. I know I did the Acid Corrosion track as well as Lethal Poison recently. But there's so many more good tracks on this label to get to. So yeah, we're going to get to more Corrosive. Let me know what you think of this one. Other than that, I will see you next time. Peace.